Welcome. Oh, need to fix my audio a bit. There we go. Welcome to Lifecraft, a new game I discovered just yesterday. It's not yet fully released. It's coming out on the 14th of April, I believe. So, what's it about? It's essentially Factorio but in a cell. So, what I'm gonna do is just go with the default settings. So that would be, I believe, survival. Normal starting size. Darkness is moody, and let's go. So I did play it for quite a bit by now. So we'll skip the tutorial part. Okay, nice. We have a nice little cell here. So you open up with gathering two of these special things to make a crafting bench, essentially. Place it somewhere, and now you can just shove resources onto here and craft new items out of that. So what we're gonna open up with is we need to do some research. For that, we need these blue particles. So aspartates, I guess that's how they're called. I'm not sure. And then you have uh, other resources, like the basic building blocks of life essentially. Then you combine them into more and more advanced things. So what we're doing right now is building the evolver, which is essentially like a laboratory that you feed special uh, resources in. And when you do that, you get research. Quite straightforward. So I'm already picking up some things that I know I'm gonna need. And well, initially there is quite a bit of manually collecting, essentially. Later on, it does get better in regards to that. So now that we have that, we can say we want to evolve, let's say, this thing. So and now we just dropped guanine. I'm not sure how it's called, to be honest. As in, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. And you have cytosine and thymine and adenine. So these are the building blocks of DNA, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not a biologist, not absolutely sure. While I do have some interest in biology and genetics, I'm hardly an expert. Okay, so now that it's done researching that particle, I'm gonna add another one. So you see, we need to research. For research, we need to give it one of each of these bases. That's for the initial easier research, and then later on you get it becomes a bit more difficult. What we also would need a bit are a few microtubules, which are essentially belts from factory games. Let's grab some red. So red would be glycine, okay? And we can just start crafting that. We can use these large piles uh, since it's easier to click there. Okay, I'm guessing this is done. Let's go with thymine. Go. And now we have the ability to build the first belt. Sorry, like this. And just drag it. So belts are stored in a special off-grid inventory, so to speak. Everything else you need to actually pick up and place where you want. So it is very strict regarding that. But belts are a bit more lax since you can only pick up 4 items at once. And with belts that would be really, really annoying. I'm assuming that's why they did it this way. Okay. So now we're doing that. And we are still missing the purple one. That would be the cytosine. Let's feed it in. Quickly grab some more. Place them down here. So what we can do now is place these on this belt contraption. Let's see, like this one, and The last one, we're gonna put this one. This way, we can now with this primitive picker, which is effectively an inserter, we have now automated the research just a tiny bit. We don't have to check one by one if it's done. So we have that. So this is a research later on that will actually allow us to build these bases, but we don't need them just yet. What we need quite early is all the research that requires just the bases. I want to get those out of the way, and once that's out of the way, we can focus more on the more intense research, so to speak. Okay, so we need another blue one. All of these should be now fine. We did unlock some new things. Right, there is a bit of a bug here that when you research new things, this recipes window down here grows. However, it doesn't resize properly. So what I need to do is actually make the window smaller and larger again, and then it's fine. So you see, now we see everything. So now we have this DNA nucleus. Not sure how exactly it's pronounced, so I'm gonna butcher all the names of all the molecules. And what this will do is allow us to automate the process even further, since we can collect this as plasmid 1, and you can deconstruct plasmids into the bases, which then allows us to automate research. Let's do it like this. So the belt is not properly directional. If you set it out, put it on here at the end, it will go into the opposite way. You can do some things later on. With, not sure if you need research for that. Yeah, we can't craft it yet. Yeah, you need research so you can direct things, but essentially they just flow until they hit something. Okay, so we got this thing. Let's just place it here for now. Now we need to automatically gather stuff from outside. That requires a primitive cytostome. I'm guessing a cytostome is the primary mechanism by which the cell is able to interact with the outside. Go, and we're gonna need another picker. Go. While that's crafting, let's check research. We're done with that research. Just noticed one thing. I don't hear any game audio anymore. Just a moment. So let's quickly go over this. What could be the issue? Since I assume the stream also does not then have the game's audio. Ah, I see where the problem is. Ah, there we go. Yes. I apologize for that. There we go. Hopefully the game audio is acceptable. So, how this works now is this thing gathers stuff that's in front of it. So it will gather from this resource heap. It will deliver it into its internal buffer, and then the picker will take the item out, place it on the microtube, transport it here, and place it into this DNA nucleus, which will then process it into the base components. So we got like one or two more researches we need to get done. Okay, let's already start refilling this thing. Let's just gather a bit. I will need two more grabbers in this case, and some more microtubules. Not grabbers, sorry, pickers. Pickers, yes. I'm struggling a tiny bit with naming things properly. but I will try to focus on naming things exactly oh, how they're called to do the game justice. Oh, this is actually quite a bad place I placed this because we will be collecting the green stuff from there later on. Okay, in which case I will actually build it out into that way afterwards. Okay, so let's see. Now the problem with everything that's called a primitive, well, except for the microtubes. Primitive microtubules don't have that problem, but everything else that is called a primitive has the problem of oxidizing, which means it has limited uses left, and as it gets older, it becomes less and less efficient. So we want to quite quickly move off the primitive stuff and onto the thicker microtubule stuff like that. Same goes out also for the cytosome, which can also be acquired in a non-primitive version. Okay, just gonna grab a few more of these spares if possible, or it's not. Okay, I think there's one more research. Yeah, energy distribution, and then yeah, I think that's it. After that, we need to actually start combining the base pairs to do further research. Looks like it, yeah. Okay. So, while all of this is chugging along, we need to plan this place out. And yeah, I did craft now some of these special, not special, tier 2 microtubules, just to get some done while I'm waiting on research to unlock and actually gathering enough resources to move the laboratory and start building the more advanced laboratory. So the idea of the game is you want to gather resources, some from heaps, some from just like they're floating there around your cell, and process them in different ways and unlock more and more efficient ways of doing things. The biggest problem I notice, not problem as in the game being bad, just uh, a problem presented to the player, is that you run out of space constantly. Like that's the biggest task of this game is essentially uh, solving that issue, solving how you move things from one side to the other side, from where they need to be, since you need to be combining all four of the base resources. So red, blue, yellow, and green. Like these are then some special things that you use for some other stuff. But these four you need to combine in so many ways that yeah, it is quite difficult to be honest to do that. Okay, so now the problem is when I pick this up, since is already used up, I won't get it back. Otherwise, you get things back, but if they're oxidized already, then they just despawn. You might notice that I'm very carefully collecting things because if you have four items in your hand already, and click another time, you just drop the last item, and then you can pick it up exactly there again, which is a bit annoying. You see, this one dropped normally, no issue, because this thing does not have oxidation. There we go. Uh, so if I'm not mistaken now, all the researches require now the more advanced base pairs. So that is to say combined base pairs. What I want to do now is I will want to create these things, the catalyzers. So I have a couple different factory things. So ribosomes, usually done for the more basic stuff. Then assemblers, which take two inputs and process them in general, not always. And then the catalyzer, which is quite an interesting way of doing things. And we're gonna go craft those now. So we need 4 green subunits, which means we need a lot of what is this? Glutamine. Okay. So what we're gonna be doing now is essentially chugging along and making our way to automating more and more things. Now, an issue that we have that is upcoming is that the outside temperature is slowly dropping, which translates to the fact that we will need to slowly get ready for heating the cell. Since the outside temperature will be too cold, and if the parts of the cell get to that extreme cold, they get damaged or even destroyed. So what we need to do due to that is make sure we have enough heat production in the cell. Oh, I think I went the wrong way there. I already collected all of those. Okay, so we're gonna have these two catalyzers, and now you see you can't set any recipes here because they need the enzyme that will be used to catalyze the reaction that's happening here. I really have to say I enjoy the system a lot, but it was confusing initially, but I do like it quite a lot. Okay, so we need two catalyzers. Do we have them already researched? That's the primary concern we have. We do. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is make this enzyme. So this will take 4 green and 3 blue. And the yellow, I believe it was also. So I'm making 2 of these since I'll be essentially doing 2 recipes down here. I'll show that in a moment as soon as these things are crafted. Apparently also did miscalculate the amount of blue I need to put in. So now that I put the enzymes in, I can now actually select the recipe. So the recipe we want, one is the AT base pair and the other is the CG base pair. And that we have that. Now we need to feed them with the correct molecules to have something actually happen. So for that, what I usually do is, you'll already see I prepared something here. This will feed into the system like this. We need uh, pickers, pickers. It's blue. I need more of them essentially. So where's picker and a lot of yellow. So proline is the yellow stuff. Okay, 2, 3. Okay, probably need one more. There we go. Now while that's crafting, as you can see there, it says 15 tasks in queue. While that's crafting, I can try to gather some more resources. So how this is gonna work is, how I do it is like this. I just feed these adenine, cytosine, and such things on these lines. Since the production here is random, what you get. Due to that, you might get in a situation where you have a lot of one of them and not a lot of other, and so the production doesn't back up. I just do this longer line here, which then allows me to have a bit of a buffer to even out the randomness. So what we're gonna do now is there. This now goes there. Oh, right, we need actually more, since we need to also feed into the research uh, lab thingy. How's it called? The Volver. Okay. Okay, that definitely is not the correct name there, so not doing a disservice to biology if I don't call it that. Okay, so yeah, you see, if I place it just here, nothing happens. So that's why you need to place it on the end. No, sorry. There we go. There we go. Okay. Here we have 180 and one what is it? CG research done. Excellent. Okay. So we can also just check it here, right? Of course. So while we're doing that, let's return that one to where it was. Let's just craft more things. Okay. Now, of course, you do over time automate all of these things. Like you're not gonna be crafting everything manually the entire game. But initially, it is a bit of a chore. Okay. So we are now able to produce. I know, not everything yet. We still need one more picker. There we go. And now this is coming along. Nice. So have a blue one, a purple one, blue one, green. As you can see now, there's two more green, and I already collected three of them, and there's like not a single red one for a while now. So that's why I built these out quite a bit. Since, yeah, otherwise, initially I didn't do that and things got backlogged really fast. So the first thing I actually want, okay, basic gathering, that's nice, since that will allow me to build non-primitive versions of the, how's it called, cytosomes. But more than that, once this is researched, I am hoping to get, not hoping to get, planning to get uh, these colored pickers. So with these, you can start doing some basic filtering. So how they work is you have four colored versions of them, and the color you pick, that's the color they will choose when collecting items. Like later on in the game, you can select a specific item, but early on it's this version. I have to say I do quite like the idea. There we go. Okay, research is being done. What I could do in the meantime is actually get more another evolver, and if I'm doing that I need also more pickers. One, and gotta say I've now lost count of what I'm putting into here. I do need to clean up the workbench later on. So let's place the pickers already. Here we go. We'll have some tests coming along. Okay, so try to place some of the stuff. How many microtubules do we have? Not enough. That's I believe the correct way to call that. So I'm just gonna spam them. Like, since this process is really slow, the the research stuff, I do use the basic microtubules there. There we go. We have that researched. Excellent. What do we still need? We still need this. Need anything really early game? Like getting tunnels early is quite fun. Right, we need actually energy. There we go. And now let's see. Can we make a blue, green, yellow one? And a red one. There we go. How many items? 20 tasks in queue. Okay, that's quite a bit. Not gonna lie. So how this is gonna look is this will go out to here and then down here. Back. I'm not gonna do the loop just yet because for that I need this item called a kicker. That's to red to blue to yellow. There, it's gonna queue that as well. So what that does is that in case there's a junction, it tells the items on the microtubules where they have to go. As I mentioned earlier, like we still didn't get a single red one, so that can be quite a problem with research sometimes that you're not getting the correct basis. Go. So what we're gonna do is like this. Put that one to the side for now. What do we have here? We have some microtubules. We're gonna need more of them. And we have the blue picker. So what we do is we just place it like that and then connect this line like that. Right? And now every blue item that comes over that thing will actually be moved in case the line is full. It will just cycle here until it's done. Okay, and there we go. So this is not yet properly the base of the game because right now it's super slow since the amount of manual crafting is still humongous. So I do feel like the start is a bit slower than with, for instance, Factorio. But I still think it's fine. Like, I'm still learning all the things here. I'm still trying to actually properly name things. Like right now, we need more glycine, for instance. And if I wasn't misclicking constantly. So yeah, the kicker that I mentioned also goes into that special inventory that you don't have to carry it with you, which is also nice. There we go. Now we have a loop there. Let's just grab it like that. That say you go there just to kickstart the loop again. Go, and we are just missing, I think, one more set of microtubules, since I believe they come in 4. Yes. Oh, we're missing one more set of microtubules. So now you see this in action, right? Wait, let me turn off the walls. So they just cycle over. If they can, they go here. They wait out in this queue, and then they get processed and shipped to the evolvers. Go. So now, as long as we have this pile, which as you can see, it's already 20% eaten up, as long as we have the pile, we are now automatically doing research. Now we will actually set up a system to process that even further, but for now that's that. Okay, so now we should start looking into producing the, for instance, microtubules. So the better microtubules. For that, we're gonna need red and green. So we have red up here. We've got green down here, which is suboptimal. So we're gonna need a ribosome, which will be creating beta tubulins, and I'm assuming the red will be alpha tubulins. We're gonna need more glycine for that to make another ribosome. Here, that's being crafted. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create another cytosome here that will be sucking up the green stuff and shipping it over here, creating the tubes. Do the same up here with the glycine. Then combine both of those in the assembler to create microtubules. For now, I'll place them here. No, I'll actually place it somewhere down here, since regard the heat I mentioned earlier, that problem. Once you start working on heat, you need quite a big chunk. Like I can show it. Like these two chunks will probably be dedicated to heating, or these these two, yeah, probably. So until then, let's continue researching. So right now, uh, sure, yeah, let's maybe go with this. Okay, so another ribosome here is done. Now we need to research cytosomes, which we can't do yet. So research is not lost if you swap, which is really nice because I really dislike when games do that. I think it's quite pointless. Go. So right now we can see like we're really missing the thymine and the green one. So we can just grab these two. So yeah, as you could saw just there, you can then place the item you want to drop on a belt, on a microtubule, then on the ADOS as well, which is also nice. Go. We have one more here. Now that that's processing, that's nice. Excellent. How far are we? We are still missing just a bit more. So what I want to do is make the cytosomes. For that, I can. Oh, and these are the NPCs that actually attack you. So now this guy damaged our wall there, and we can fix that. That's not that big of an issue. But now if this cell was really, so if this chunk, you have these 16 by 16, I believe, chunks. If it was really cold, I'm not sure exact number, but it seems like 16 by 16. Sure, not sure. Um, if it drops below 33 degrees, something like that, in that situation, it can become necrotic, and then it dies off, and you lose the stuff that you have there, and you lose that chunk and have to rebuild it. So late game, these attacks are a bit more of a annoying, a bit more serious, but for now, it's fine. There, that's iron. That's something we're gonna also need. Okay, so this is the oxidation I mentioned. Now this cytosome is not functional anymore because it hardened. So what we're gonna do is look into this option and look into the option of possibly creating the better cytosome, for which we would need. Okay, so not that horrible. So that's one step, one part of it. Then we need the energy supplier, which we can't make yet. Excellent. So making that cytosome is completely useless at this point. So let's make a primitive one. And also the picker there got damaged, I'm quite sure, which means we should also grab those things. So I'm gonna make a couple more pickers then. I'm not sure what the rest of the stuff in here is for. Okay, so you see this one oxidized, this one, and this one. So I'm just gonna remove them. Otherwise, if I was replacing them with the same one, I could just click on top of them. And there's even an automatic way of replacing these things. But I'm gonna skip that process for now. So the advantage of using these is you don't need to supply them with proper power, like a power grid, but they need to be replaced. The ones I plan on building are the opposite. They don't need to be replaced, but they do require a constant power supply. So, right, I didn't have to. Okay. So I'm already going to place this one, which will make a warning though, since we now don't have power for that thing. But we're on our way. We'll get there. We'll get there. So you have, for power generation, you have the energy supplier, which takes ATP. This is this one, and creates a power unit that can be distributed by itself directly or via energy poles. And once that's done, right. Let's actually switch to this research. With the power poles, you can then create a central power plant, so to speak, that handles all of that. And you don't have to then worry about getting power to every place, since you can just use the poles, which have quite nice range. Okay, so just move the ATPs here for now, so they're stacked together. Yeah, I'll place this one since there's no use for it otherwise, so it oxidizes, and once it's oxidized, we'll use the proper ones there, and there we go. So now this entire thing will run, except this thing will expire still, but everything else will run now indefinitely, essentially. Let's just, oh, that was the worst possible thing to pick up. Okay, so let's go into the direction of the power stuff we're gonna need. So we're gonna need the energy suppliers, and we're gonna need the energy poles. Now, I can't make either of those things yet. So alpha helix or beta sheets. So that's not cool. But we'll find a way. So while that's done, I can do the rest of the stuff. So I can do, that's one gamma tubulin, I guess. Okay, that's three of them. And then I'm gonna need 10 glutamine and make those into tubes. And I actually think I might need, I might actually need more than that. Ah, can hear another attack coming in. Now you can click like a maniac onto the bacteria that come and attack you, and that chases them away, but I'm not gonna murder my mouse for that. You can also research a defense mechanism that also handles those things, but we don't have that just yet. I did actually the previous playthrough. I was playing and got quite far-ish I did do it without doing the defense mechanism. I just tried using, I just did repairs constantly. Worked out fine, I think. Okay, now let's go. What's the next thing we're gonna need? This would be nice to have, yeah, once we start setting up the power plants. So, we are talking about on the scale of 6 alpha helixes, which means uh, inhumane amount of, yeah, okay. I'm not sure how I'm gonna solve this now. Okay, so this is still crafting. Let's see, once it's done crafting, what we can actually do with this. Like the red stuff, I do also need the red stuff. In which form? In its raw form. Okay, so I need to get rid of those tubules ASAP, which means I need to create 2 alpha helixes ASAP, which I'm not sure I can actually do considering the storage issues I'm having right now. Let's take that one out. Let's make the first alpha helix, and then let's make a new one with 2 more of these. There we go. Oh, not taking that one out. There we go. And now we can make their energy pole. So it does also take into account what's queued up and stuff. So the crafting is quite nice in that aspect, but it does require a bigger amount of clicking than I'm happy with to get everything done properly. So that is a bit of a minus point in my opinion, but it's still doable. Okay, and that's now. Okay, so let's just take the energy pole out, place it over here, just to get rid of that stuff. And now we need 2 more alpha helixes, which again need bunch of green, bit of yellow. There we go. There we go. No, come on. Okay, there we go. And we are finally building the generator. I really think I should, yeah, maybe I skipped over too many steps here. In an attempt to make my life easier, I think I might have made it just a wee bit harder. What I can do is actually right. I can just manually feed these ribosomes so I can get the tubes already. Okay, so I said I'm gonna use these 2 chunks for heating, which means I need to set up power somewhere. Like, I'm gonna need for power processing made out of 2 steps. I mean, I can do, yeah, I'll do it. No, wait, if this, really not happy with the layout here. I guess I'll move the stuff afterwards. There, problem solved. There we go. Let's just get that crafting a tiny bit. So what I can do now is place the ATP in there. Now it is ready to produce 100 calories per second for 15 seconds. However, the energy pole is not in range. That's why I was planning on building a second energy pole. So let's quickly drop a bunch of those, a bunch of that, more bunches. There we go. Can make the first helix definitely. And with that, I should be able to make the second helix. And I'm missing 3. Which tubules were the green ones? Um, Beta tubulins, yeah. There we go. Pylons being built. And then we can even do this part already. And then we're gonna need pickers again. So let's start with enough resources for 2 pickers. There we go. And let's pick up the energy pole. Show it like over here for now. This is being crafted. Let's then start planning on the next stage, which is more pickers. Okay. So this looks now fine. Almost ready there. Almost ready. Okay, well, that's crafting. So then we'll do the same thing here to start creating the beta tubulins. And once we have that, we'll be creating the belts automatically. There we go. Okay. There we go. This is not being fed. Excellent. This is already, as you can see, producing a tiny bit of heat, but that's not enough to actually have a big effect. Like, it is warming the local cell here, since it's still quite warm outside. It's still fine, but later on, you can get some heat from these processes if they're constantly running, but I wouldn't rely on them. This is still crafting. Go. There we go. Let's craft the. So what we're gonna need then is 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 poles. Not a huge fan of that effect. So let's just start crafting cubes for this. Will I need any red for any of those things? No. And let's just. There you see a bacteria coming. Just gonna make a ribosome there and just place it to the side for now. So what we need next is we need to start working on more pickers. So I'm just gonna leave this like that for now and just gonna start building this line down here. In the meantime, I will prepare the pickers for that. And after that, I'll also work on the energy poles to start automating the yellow production, green production, sorry. Now, these microtubules are more expensive also not just in the raw cost, but they also only produce 2 segments per craft, which is a bit annoying when starting out, but it's fine later on. Like later on, you even have a special structure that allows you to just permanently add the microtubules as they're crafted. You can just feed them into that special structure and they get automatically added to your inventory, which is quite nice. So let's start emptying this out. Let's go. Oh, right, I forgot. I do dislike this fact that you can craft like that, like just dropping items, since sometimes you want to pick up multiples of the same item and then, yeah, that happens, which is unfortunate, but at least we're starting to get this closer and closer. Go for one more. So this is essentially the gist of it. At this stage, I'll then later on continue on the power generation. Then we also have the heat generation, and with that also comes the massive problem with not even remotely enough space to do anything. Go. So ATP then produces ADP when it's depleted, which can be recharged. But for that, we need to build more stuff. I know that's shocking, a shocking revelation here, but it is like that. Okay, let's just prepare this. There we go. Nice. Okay, sorry, I zoned off a bit there, zoned out a bit. So, uh, this is working now. We just need to start getting more and more things done, since right now there is a lot of waiting, which results into in the game rate being quite low. The game does have the option for speeds, but I'm not sure if it was bugged just in that game, but it didn't really work when I tried it out the last time. I'm not really sure what to do regarding that. So let's see. All of these seems fine. Okay. How's our research coming along? It's not very researchy because we don't have enough green and blue. Yeah. There we go. Just what the doctor ordered. Oh, another green one. There we go. That should help it a bit. And we should have some pickers by now. And we no longer have to manually pick the red cubins, which is probably alpha, yeah. Alpha. tubulins, something like that. Okay. Now the next thing is right. I can also work on energy stuff here. There we go. It's excellent. And then I will need to also start thinking about. Oh, I don't have the enzyme for that yet. Okay. Yeah, I do need that as well for. Yeah, just leave it like that for now. Let's make the energy poles. That should be enough. And then 8 green and 4 yellow. And that should be enough for that thing. Excellent. We will also need a catalyzer, which means another 8 green. There we go. So the catalyzer will be used for this process here for recharging the ATP, which, to be absolutely honest, might still take a while until we reach that. We'll see. Okay. Nice. This is done. Now we need to get the enzymes for specific process, which I believe is here. Yes, this is the process. Yeah. So we need to evolve that. How are we? We're missing blue. We're massively missing the blue. So timeline. I can get one more. We are again experiencing the situation with that. Since we're not quite there yet with power, I'll make a primitive one again. So 2 blue, 2 green, and a primitive one. There we go. So how are we gonna solve this? This needs 2 inputs. I mean, I'll have to reposition this thing afterwards anyway, so I'll just go like this. And we don't have the enzyme just yet. If I'm not mistaken, this should not be in line. Yes. Should be in range, and I'll then need another one there. Shoo. So yeah, the damage you see if you're clicking on it is just not worth it. So primitive cytosome, there we go. Like, I'm not sure if it is related to the time of day or something, but that doesn't make any sense that it would be, I think, at least. Since it does feel like during the day and nighttime different molecules are missing here. I'm not sure. Probably I'm just having some case of confirmation bias, so I wouldn't really count on it. Wait, no, we don't want you. You can go there. There we go. So now the next thing is we want next thing is we will need to build what's necessary. You see again this problem. The energy pole. Okay, so I will actually stop the stream right now at this point, and I'll be back later on to stream some more of this really lovely game. So I really do suggest you try it out if you have the chance. It's coming out soon, and I don't know the price yet, but I'm quite sure, considering how much I played it so far, I'm gonna be buying it. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.